Yeah, so of course with everything being in Orlando, it's a little bit different in the sense that people don't have home court advantage. In fact, even the Magic don't have it. They're
Right.
For them, they say that it just feels like another away game, even though they're 30 minutes away or whatever from where they actually would normally play. So,
Right.
anyways, there's this idea of home court advantage. It's, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to dive into it too much, but I think that with this, a lot of people are going to be missing the reactions from the fans and kind of the emotions that people get heated whenever people are being cheered or people are being booed, whatever
Right,
it
right.
might be. And I would go as far as to say even the refs. I think that to an extent, whenever you're at someone's home court and you're like you give in to the fans sometimes whenever you make a controversial call, and
Right.
then it can that one play or one call could really affect the whole game.
Right.
And so without something like a home court advantage, Cody, I want to ask you this. Do you think that a team like the Suns, who for most people isn't really a highly favored team to begin with, are they actually better off in a situation like this where there's seemingly no home court advantage? It's just everything is neutral because there's no fans one way or the other. And
Right.
so while it can mess with everyone in different ways, are we actually better off because of it?
Oh man, yeah, I've never even looked at it from that perspective. Um, yeah, I would argue I think we might be better off.
Yeah.
When you're going up against a powerhouse, maybe like the Los Angeles Clippers or the LA Lakers,
Right.
I think the disadvantage will always come for someone who has built something that everyone wants to follow, and so therefore they are used to performing and then having a
Right.
fan base that shows up every single time. Like there's that accountability. We're going to go out there and win and highlights, and you're going to go out there and create chaos,
Yeah.
either amping us up or then getting in the heads of refs or the opposing team. So yeah, despite us taking that loss, I do think the Suns are at an advantage because teams they're not going off that adrenaline. They're not having their fan base there.
Right. And I
That's-
mean, for people that like aren't from Phoenix, man, if you ever been to a Suns game as of late, I know back when we had our actual days of 5 second offense
Our
and
hoorah.
it was like, I mean, Phoenix Suns fans were next level. I didn't live here, but Cody, I know you did, and
Mhm.
I mean, I've heard stories about how loud that arena was. Charles Barkley literally talks about it quite a bit of like
Yep.
some of the best fans.
Unreal.
But we've been trash for so long that it's like now you go to Suns games, especially if they're playing like the Lakers or the Spurs or some of those like
Mhm.
big rivals.
Right,
Dude,
right.
I went to a Spurs game. Maybe this was 2 seasons ago now. I was wearing a Suns shirt and people were booing me at
For real?
at the Suns arena. Yeah. Like, you suck. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Right. That's just not
whatsoever.
the culture here.
Yeah. So I mean, like right now, I mean, home court advantage is definitely wishy-washy. I'll say it's gotten a little bit better since like, especially probably this year. It's been the best that it's been in a while.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I went to the game. I guess it was this season, which is weird because it feels like literal years ago.
Mhm.
But it was the game where it would have been, I forget who they were playing, but it was like fourth quarter. We were tied. Kelly Oubre hits a corner three, and then
Okay.
the other team goes down to hit a three to tie it up, and we have the ball with like 0.7 seconds left. Dude, the arena was loud, so
Ah.
loud. It was like,
I would love it.
oh, it was so much fun.
There's
But-
nothing better. You just feel like you're a part of something.
And that was the thing. I think we even lost that game too. But like walking out of it, I'm like, dude, that was like, there was something that like
A little
happened
glimpse
there
of
that
hope.
nobody else is
Yeah.
gonna like be a part of.
Right.
But it's an interesting thought for sure because I mean I watched obviously The Last Dance over
Mhm.
over this COVID break, and there's so many moments where Michael Jordan would like get offended and it would like change the way that he played,
Right, right.
which is like just so crazy that he had like he was
Mhm.
the best player on the planet, and then he had like another level too when he like got like upset.
Right.
But there was this level of like, whether it's like another player on another team, a ref, or fans.
Mhm.
I think for a player like that, even though there's this extra gear that they have because of the
Absolutely.
arena.
Yep.
Versus you watch like so they had footage of him playing on the Dream Team when they're
Mhm.
just like it's literally just these all-stars in
Right.
an arena. And the
Mhm.
games are still heated, but it's heated in a different way because now it's like just like the competition and not like the arena.
Right.
So in that sense, it's like I'm sure there's still like a level of like I'm offended, I'm competitive.
Mhm.
I mean, they're athletes, right? Like
Absolutely.
Right.
it's what they do, but it definitely has to have like a different effect of like, there is it's different playing in a room with no fans. I listened to an interview with one of my favorite soccer players, N'Golo Kante, and he's super introverted. And he
Mhm.
was like, I actually like it way more because he
Really?
because he doesn't like well, he
Yeah.
likes people, but he just doesn't like a lot of people.
Mhm.
So he's like, I can just go in, play my game, and leave, and it's like,
He's striving.
yeah, I'm just chilling. So I'm
Right.
sure there's like that level too of some guys that are like, yeah, it's kind of nice to be honest.
Yeah. Have you watched any games, either of you?
I've watched some
Um,
highlights. I haven't watched any like
Okay.
full
Yeah,
games.
I watched 2 of the Suns games, the last
Yeah.
2 ones.
Perfect. And so then you could attest. There's a gear missing. Every
Oh,
game I've
yeah.
watched, it feels off.
Yeah.
So it just goes to validate Jimmy's kind of argument. What we're saying,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
there's
it's like-
something. There's a
and
whole
that's the-
layer to the game that's just it's gone.
And that's the thing about basketball is it's like the fans are so close to the arena or to
Mhm.
the court.
Right.
It's always packed out. Basketball is already such a personality driven sport
Mm-hmm.
that it's just like there's another level of like that fan that's like that added component.
Right. Right.
So I guess to answer your question, I don't know if it's positive or negative, but it definitely is different. 100%.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's so. Then let's take the Suns out because I
Yeah.
don't want to say it, but they're come on,
Right.
they're not going to make the playoffs. So
Right.
but
We'll
let's
edit
take
that out.
let's take the Lakers versus the Clippers.
Yeah.
If that was in the playoffs and that were to happen,
Bro, yeah.
no matter who's at home, that's a LA Lakers game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So like the Clippers now have the advantage because if there were fans, it would be 7 games of LA Lakers being at home,
Right.
whether the Clippers were at home or not.
No, that's super real. And
You
it's
know?
like, and I don't know if either, but how like the playoff schedule is going to work. I'd imagine it's the same,
Mhm.
but it's like, we aren't talking like, 3 home games, 2 away games, another home game. Like that,
Right.
that doesn't
Right.
even matter
Right.
now.
That's a bummer.
But here's another like question on this thing before we get on to the next segment. So I was talking with one of our coworkers, Jimmy and I's coworkers, who is an LA
Mhm.
Lakers fan.
okay.
And there's been a lot of talk lately, specifically for the Lakers, because this idea of like, they want to win a championship. LeBron's there, J.R. Smith's there now. Like they got the pieces,
Right. Right.
and they were like, yeah, it's kind of a bummer because they're like, we feel like we're gonna get like not as good basketball because guys are out of shape, all this
Okay.
stuff. But he was like, I've been hearing some talk of people saying we'll get better basketball.
Yep.
Because it's like, what they're just like sleeping, eating, and playing basketball. Like that's literally all they're doing.
Yeah, they all fresh legs. So come on, these dudes are millionaires preparing for the playoffs. They were conditioning.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen those videos, Jimmy or Theo, of Rondo before he got injured again, but he's ripped.
Really?
Like, he is the biggest I've ever seen him. So I mean, you got Paul
Yeah.
George, Kawhi Leonard,
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry. All these guys are coming up fresh legs. LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it'll be fun. Just that aspect of not having fans. I don't think they're going to be able to reach that level. Game 7, 30 seconds left.
How wild is that going to be, dude? Watching an
Silent.
NBA Finals and
Mm.
it's just in an empty court.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Did you watch
Russ feeds off fans. Like,
Oh,
come
yeah.
on. It's going to be a weird dynamic, but I'm excited just to see how it plays out.
Same. Did you watch the UFC fight? That
I didn't.
bro, it was at Fight Island. Well, they've done 2 now.
Mhm.
Dude, it's so weird though, because it's like UFC is such a sport where it's like everybody gets wild.
Right.
But then, like, literally no one's there. So you just hear, like, a slap of, like, a shin to, like, a stomach. And then it's just, like, they just
Silent.
they just keep fighting. It was so awkward. Because you're just hearing weird, like, grunting and...
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's, like, you have The Ultimate Fighter that's, like, kind of like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But even with The Ultimate Fighter, there's, like, 30, 40 people around.
Right.
It was weird. You should watch it.
Weird times.